The New York Mets could be about to make a blockbuster trade to bring an ace to Queens. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Smitty Talks Mets, and I'm your host Smitty. And in today's video, we're going to be going over two mock trade proposals that would bring an ace to Queens. But before we get into those trade proposals, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all the support that we have gotten on these early videos on this channel. Let's keep it going. Now let's get into the video. So this first Mets trade proposal that I have would be bringing Freddy Peralta and Trevor McGill to the New York Mets in exchange for Jett Williams, Brandon Sproat, Luisangel Acuña, and Kodai Senga going on the way to Milwaukee. Now, first things first, let's just break down what the Mets would be acquiring in Freddy Peralta and Trevor McGill. So first things first, let's take a look at Freddy Peralta's stats now. Forgive me, in the top right, I have position as relief pitcher. He would be a starting pitcher. So take a quick look at Freddy Peralta's 2025 stats, where he had a 5.5 B WAR, a 2.7 ERA. He pitched in 33 games, pitched 176.2 innings. He had a 3.64 FIP, 10.4 Ks per 9, and 3.4 walks per 9. And over the course of his career, he has accumulated 14.3 B WAR. He has had a career 3.59 ERA, a 3.66 FIP, 11.1 Ks per 9, and 3.5 walks per 9. So it's pretty clear that 2025 was his best season ERA-wise, at least compared to his career stats, but everything else, his Ks per 9, walks per 9, and his FIP was pretty on par for his career averages. So Freddy Peralta would immediately slot into that top 1 or 2 position in the Mets rotation if we were to make this trade, and especially with Kodai Senga going the other way to the Milwaukee Brewers in my mock trade. Freddy Peralta and Noah McLean would easily be the number 1 and number 2 in our rotation. And I do want to mention that over the course of the last 3 seasons, Freddy Peralta has not missed a single start, so you know you're getting that reliable guy who will eat innings in that rotation for the Mets. Whereas Kodai Senga has been hurt consistently throughout his career, and in only those 3 years he missed all of 2024 and missed a good chunk of 2025. And when he does pitch, he is phenomenal, and you could even argue that he is better than Freddy Peralta, but he's just not on the field consistently enough. But now let's take a look at Trevor McGill, the other guy we would be getting in this trade, and the reason why we do have to add more than just Kodai Senga to this trade. Trevor McGill would be either our closer or the setup man to Jett Williams in the off chance that we do make this trade. And taking a look at his 2025 stats, he had a 1.5 B WAR, a 2.49 ERA. He pitched in 50 games, he pitched 47 innings. He had a 2.5 FIP, 11.5 Ks per 9, and 3.3 walks per 9. Now you can see that throughout his career, he has only accumulated 1.6 B WAR, and 1.5 of that was last season, so he really came on strong last year. He has a career 3.98 ERA, a 3.13 FIP, 11 Ks per 9, and 3.1 walks per 9. And Trevor McGill is a guy who has really just come on strong over these last couple of seasons, really solidifying himself as a closer towards the, or at least a guy towards the back end of the bullpen. He's also the brother of Tyler McGill, Mets pitcher, so I think having that brother dynamic in the Mets clubhouse would just also help things out. Now let's take a look at what we are sending away. So like I said, Kodai Senga is a great pitcher. He could be the ace of our rotation. However, he is hurt just way too often, so I think that sending him away is fine. And then we have Luisangel Acuña, who has not come on too strong so far during his MLB tenure. However, he does have that really good potential defensively, and he has a ton of speed. So at the very worst case scenario, he is a very good defender with elite speed on the base paths. And we would also be sending away 2 top 6 prospects in the Mets farm system in Jett Williams and Brandon Sproat. And Brandon Sproat will definitely be hard to part with, because I think he could be an elite pitcher in the MLB, but it's just that unknown that makes me willing to trade with him. And then we have Jett Williams, who's kind of a shortstop / center field hybrid kind of guy. Now, I do personally really like Jett Williams. However, we do have Lindor at shortstop. We do have some guys at the minor league level who are going to be able to come up soon and play that middle infield position. And also at center field, the Mets do have Tyrone Taylor there for a couple more seasons. I don't think he should block Jett Williams, but they have options there. They also have Carson Bench coming up, who could play center field in case the Mets do sign a left fielder like a Kyle Tucker possibly. So I think that just because of that, Jett Williams is expendable. But that is it for the first mock trade that I had that would bring an ace to Queens. Mets fans, let me know in the comment section down below, would you make this trade? The second blockbuster trade that the Mets could make is going to be one that lands Tarik Skubal in Queens. And in this trade, the Mets would be bringing in Tarik Skubal and sending away Jonah Tong, Jett Williams, Luisangel Acuña, and Ronny Mauricio. Now, I think that there is a world where they do want a guy like Kodai Senga instead of a guy like Ronny Mauricio or Luisangel Acuña, but just for the video's sake, I'm keeping this as a trade package. Now, I know that when you guys look at this trade, you might look at Luisangel Acuña and Ronny Mauricio and be like, why would the Tigers want them? And how would this push this over the edge for them to accept this trade? But I really don't think you should look at it like that. I think you should look at the fact that Jonah Tong does have ace potential, and parting with him is not something I really want to do, but Tarik Skubal is one of the few guys in the MLB that I'd be willing to do it for. Jonah Tong in the MLB last season, he did kind of get hit a little bit But in AAA and AA and single A, every single level of the minor leagues, he has been an elite level pitcher. And in MLB, even though he did get hit around just a little bit, I think his potential is still sky high and could be the ace of a rotation. And I will mention that even if the Mets do make this blockbuster trade to bring in Tarik Skubal, I will be a little disappointed because I do want to see a rotation with Brandon Sproat, Jonah Tong, and Nolan McLean all in at once. So I think that could be the next big three of Mets pitchers coming up from that farm system. But bringing Tarik Skubal, you got to make the trade. We already kind of went over Jett Williams and Luisangel Acuña, but in the case of Ronny Mauricio, he's a 5-tool kind of guy. He has power, he has contact, he can run the base, he can play defense. Ronny Mauricio is a great all-around talent. However, he just does not really have a place with the Mets right now. He plays third base, shortstop, second base, and the outfield. But unfortunately, the Mets kind of have guys all the way around the diamond that would be playing over him, like guys like Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, Carson Bench is going to be coming up, and even if the Mets do keep Jeff McNeil, which I don't think they will, Jeff McNeil will be over him. So I think that Ronny Mauricio does need a change of scenery. I think Detroit would be a perfect place for him. Now, I don't think I really have to introduce you guys to Tarik Skubal and why this would be such a big trade, but we'll do it anyway. So we'll take a look at his 2025 stats: 6.5 B-WAR, 2.21 ERA, pitched in 31 games, had 195.1 innings pitched, a 2.45 FIP, 11.1 Ks per 9, and only 1.5 walks per 9. This guy also won Cy Young. He has 2 Cy Young wins in his career, and I really do think that he would be the best pitcher the Mets have had since DeGrom has left. Now, I will say, if we do make this trade, this does need to come with an extension. Now, there is that risk with Scott Boras being his agent that he won't want an extension until he becomes a free agent. And if that is the case, if the Mets call the Tigers out and Tarik Skubal says he will not sign an extension until he becomes a free agent and he's in the open market, do not make this trade, because the fact that you could be trading away some really talented guys in this farm for a 1-year rental, it is not worth it. But if the Mets could ink Tarik Skubal to a 7+ year extension, I would love to bring him into Queens, and I would not have any hesitations about making the move. But Mets fans, those are the 2 blockbuster trade proposals that I have that would bring an ace to Queens. Let me know, would you make either of those deals, or do you think that we would be giving up too much? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.